Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new season of the Purposeful Life Show with your host, Adrian Starks. I'm excited to share some new updates of the show with you, starting with a new look, sound, and energy, as well as a variety of guests coming aboard with intriguing topics of conversation. I hope you enjoy the new level of energy that will be brought to the show. Thank you for all of your support since the very beginning in 2019. Wow, it's been 3 years already? Because of you, the Purposeful Life Show is now in the top 5% of all podcasts globally, and we aim to get it into the top 1%. Continue listening to the show and share it with others. You can also now listen to the show on my Facebook page at Adrian Starks, where you can comment in real time and communicate with me about your aha moments. Thank you again for all of your support, and let's make this one hell of a year and be purposeful about doing that. Wishing you all much love and success. Have you been stuck for the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years in a job that you do not love? Do you feel stuck from not knowing how to take the first step or the next steps to be the entrepreneur you know you can be? Do you find yourself stuck in relationships, getting the same results, not truly being you and afraid to say what you need to say and do what you really need to do? Maybe you're not stuck. You could be hiding. Stay tuned for our new episode today. Stop waiting on approval from others. Hi, my name is Adrian Starks, and welcome to the Purposeful Life Show on the Champion Up Podcast. This podcast is for the courageous creators wanting to create a life of meaning, adventure, and fulfillment, all while helping to make the world a better place. I'm happy you're here, and if you're new to our show, make sure to give us that 5-star rating and subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. Also, connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at Champion Up. It is always that one idea that could be your breakthrough. It's time to step into your courage and believe the champion in you. Welcome to the Purposeful Life Show on the Champion Up Podcast. I'm your host. My name is Adrian Starks, and I'm excited to have you back for another amazing episode this week. Before we get started, make sure to go to the championup.net website to get that Tiger Limited Edition Champion Up shirt, which are going fast. They're great to wear, they're stylish, and it's just for you. Once again, go to championup.net. Today's a special episode. We're going to talk about being an entrepreneur in your life, but more importantly, to stop hiding and waiting for approval from people. How many times have we done this, and we continue to do so? So I'm excited to bring a special guest on board today, and he is the host of the Hidden Entrepreneur Show that is making some major impact out here, and it's quite the buzz. His name is Josh Cary, and I want to bring Josh Cary on to say hello to our audience. Josh, can you say hello?
Hello to the audience, and hello to you, Adrian. I got to say, from the minute I was introduced to you and the Champion Up brand, I'm a fan. I love the whole concept of champion up. The more I engage with it, the more that I embrace it because it makes sense. So I'm a fan of you and everything you're doing as well.
Well, thank you so much, Josh. And I'm a fan of yours. And this is what it's all about, supporting fellow entrepreneurs in the businesses of growing and impacting this world. So thank you. And I felt the same kind of energy with you too, brother. And for our audience, let me let you know right now why I felt this energy with Josh. Josh Cary spent 40 years in hiding. Yeah, 40 years in hiding. That's right. He was hiding every aspect of himself and showing up with a mask on in all areas of his life, trying to gain the approval of everyone else. Ooh. At 19, he changed his name and entered into what would become a 15-year career as a professional actor and filmmaker. The applause and external accolades didn't completely heal his feelings of anxiety and insecurities, and he found himself more isolated than ever. Today, Josh Cary is a podcast host of the Hidden Entrepreneur Show and business coach to entrepreneurs who are ready, willing, and able to say, F that noise. Yeah, I said that. F that noise in their head that's been acting as a comfortable excuse for remaining where they are. And this is why we've got Josh on the show today. Josh, thank you for being on the show, my friend.
Here we are, Adrian. Let's get right to it.
Well, let's get right to the show, man. All right, let's just talk about your show right now, the Hidden Entrepreneur Show, which is getting a lot of buzz, and man, people are on your show. Let me tell you, everyone, this guy has a list of people on his show, and it's no reason why he does that because he's such an amazing person. But Josh, I want to know, when and where did you come up with this idea for the Hidden Entrepreneur Show? Like, where were you, and When did it come up, this idea?
Well, it was actually less than a year ago. The summer of 2018 is when I launched my first Hidden Entrepreneur podcast episode. So let's go back a couple of months before that. I was in transition, and of course, we'll connect all these dots. I came from a 10-year career as a digital marketing agency owner serving the professional pet industry. And slowly but surely, to put it broadly, I needed a change for my own well-being, for my own sanity. I was very angry. I was frustrated. I was miserable. I wasn't achieving the stuff, right, that I knew I was capable of doing. And that's because, like you said, I spent my whole life in hiding, showing up in every situation, hiding all of my power, all of my ability, everything that I was capable of in exchange for being the person I thought everybody else expected me to be, which, like you said, is seeking approval. And that gets very
that way too.
Yeah, I know. I talk to many people who say, yeah, me too. And it's the exact same thing where you just show up and you put on this mask and you try to please and appease everybody else. And what does that do? It puts you in a very difficult scenario, at least for me, because I would go home behind closed doors, become very angry and frustrated because I knew what I was capable of. I knew what I was hiding, but I was fearful. I used fear as an excuse not to do it, not to do anything that I knew I was capable of.
You use fear as an excuse. I can concur with that, and I'm pretty sure our audience here may not be admitting to it right away, but there is that fear that we all have when we put on the mask, like you've mentioned, Josh, of giving ourselves to people based on what we think they want us to be. And that is such an energy drainer.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel like, and that frustration you felt, I felt that same way as well, too. You get back home, you're wondering, I've given all this today, but how much of it was really me?
Right.
And why am I doing that?
Right. Why am I doing that? Because I was scared of everything that I created in my own head to keep showing up in this label that basically from a very young age, because of surrounding scenarios, I sold myself the lie that I'm not capable and nobody cares what I have to say. So I slapped that label on me tight and I wore that label. And then what do? You go out into the world and you find all the people, all the scenarios, all the experiences that validate that truth for you. So I showed up in every situation looking for that, really most often subconsciously, but there's a conscious awareness of it because you're doing it. It's what you think you need to survive. So I did that my whole life. I got those scenarios where I played small. I stayed in the background. I didn't show up. Like I said, I was hiding all of my power and my ability in exchange for this, thinking, well, they're going to like me. They're going to like me. And this is the way. And then I got exactly what I was looking for. But to quickly connect the answer to your question, how did the Hidden Entrepreneur come about? Last summer, I realized that now is the time. And there are a few other dots I could connect along the way, like having two small, adoring children looking at me every step of the way. And quickly realizing already in their young lives, I have a 6-year-old daughter, a 4-year-old son, and realizing early on that, oh my goodness, I'm the child in this relationship. And I didn't want to continue to be that way. And I couldn't be that way anymore. So I knew that I had to make the change. And I took some time and made some difficult but necessary choices. There's that important word, choices. We have to make better choices if we want some sort of significant change. And I did some of the hard work that is necessary consistently. And here we are. And it just came to me one morning at my breakfast table, trying to think of, well, what am I going to become? Who am I going to become? What do I want to do? How do I want to do it? And that phrase just popped in, well, hidden entrepreneur, because I've been hiding all this time.
Oh, I like that. So the hidden entrepreneur is a great title because I believe that we're all hidden. And maybe you're not an entrepreneur listening to the show right now. Maybe you're a person, you're hidden in your job. You're hidden in a relationship. You got to get out of it. You got to figure out a way. How do you show up? How do you appear and take off that mask like Josh said? And you mentioned, Josh, there was that turning point where you just said, you know what? I have to be different. I have to become someone different. And you talked about choices, which I love because with change, it requires choices. And choices, ladies and gentlemen, gives us the ability to work with change. And so Josh is talking about choices. And I want to know, Josh, what were some changes or some choices that you needed to make in order for you to move in that direction of getting out of that hidden part of your life to become visible, to be this powerful host that you are today on your Hidden Entrepreneur Show?
Well, thank you for that and acknowledging all that. So, as you know, it takes a variety of choices and changes mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. Yeah. So I had to take a real honest look. And that's the thing. Unless you are ready, willing, and able to really look honestly at yourself and say, okay, throughout the course of the day, there are small, medium, and large choices, decisions, and actions you're making or not making that are either serving or not serving towards what you say you want, your ultimate goal and vision for life and the way you want to experience it. And, you know, I looked and I'm like, okay, well, there's obviously some major things that I'm doing that aren't serving me. And there are some minor things. Let me dig deeper and try to unravel and make sense of all this. So, you know, stereotypically, you read about those you want to emulate, those successful people who are doing what you're doing. And something as simple I kept reading over and over is they all get up early. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm sleeping in, you know, I'm sort of resisting what I know I should be doing. Let me get up early. So you make a choice to do that. I'm not exercising. I don't feel good. Okay, let me. So you do one small thing at a time. You put one change in place and it gets better. And then I can start meditating and work on my spiritual, all to the grand scale of figuring out why I'm doing this, to what end. For me, it had everything to do with my children. That's where I was able to latch on to, knowing that my whole life, I knew that I'd like to become a father. I'd probably enjoy that role. I thankfully have the opportunity and had the opportunity. Now I'm a father to two incredible, amazing children that really are my everything. And again, I said, well, in order to be the best I can for them, I have to be the best I can for me. And I'm not doing that. But Josh, you know you can. You've said it all along. Yeah. You're capable. What are you scared of? Figure it out and reverse that. And I was scared.
So I want to go back on that right quick here. Good. So you said figure out what you're scared of and go back on that and reverse that. So for our audience here, right now, what are you scared of? As Josh just challenged you here, what are you scared of right now? And what are you doing on a daily basis that is not helping you move beyond that fear that you have? What are you doing? So you got to think about that. Write that down right now. If you're driving, don't write it down, but put it into your head. Think about it. What are you scared of? We've all got something we're scared of. So Josh, I want you to go back on, you were just talking about the fact that you said that you got to figure out what you're scared of, go back on it and replace that with something else. And so what can we do with that? Like when we're scared of something and we know we've got to make a move, what do we do?
So we're all doing throughout our day, like I said, small, medium, and large things, actions, choices, decisions that we're either making or not making. Yes. And it's easy to say, well, slowly but surely, make one small change at a time. There's two things here. Our initial reaction is to say, let's use an easy example of weight loss. Somebody wants to lose 50 pounds. All right, they're going to jump into this lifestyle. They're going to spend 5 days a week, 3 hours a day at the gym. They're going to cut out all this food. They're going to eat this, eat that. We know how something like that works out, and it doesn't have to be that way. Make one small choice. Get a small win every every day consistently under your belt.
Absolutely.
Every week. You know it. So you know what? Cut out a glass of soda or all soda. Cut out one candy bar. Cut out fast food just once. Drink more water. Say, you know what? I'm going to drink a half a gallon or a gallon of water every day, period. Start there. That is it. Just see a positive momentum, a step in the right direction consistently. And that's the way it works. And that's the only way it works. But now, bigger than that, you also have to, for yourself, you've heard it spoken about, find your why, right?
Yeah.
What is driving this? Because if you don't have that real why, that real reason, it's going to fizzle out quickly. And the question that I help my clients navigate this terrain with is simply this, that I call the ultimate question, which is, answer this for yourself. How would you like to be remembered? Now, when you ask yourself this question, sure, it can be something as great as I want to change the world. Okay, but let's get specific. How do you want to change the world? Who do you want to change it for? And why do you want to change the world? So once you really sit with this and get really comfortable with how would you like to be remembered, you can then tie it to this truth.
Yes.
Everything we do in this physical world we are living is finite, meaning it will come to an end. There is nothing definite about the choices we make in this physical environment. In and of itself, right? Individually, no choice you make means anything. What it adds up to is a collection of all the choices you've made and are making in service of that answer. How would you like to be remembered? So once you are comfortable and confident with your answer, you can then just take all the actions you want without fear, because individually they don't matter. If they are in service of that answer, that's all that matters. This means that you can click record and do that thing you want to do. You can write that email. You can pick up the phone. You can forgive, right? There's no boundaries to what's possible because you are in service to your destiny, to your ultimate end. And that's the only thing that means something. None of this individual choice we're doing means anything because it's finite. It's not definite. What is definite is when it's all over for you, how you are remembered. That you can't change the way people remember you. That is finite. But now anything could be changed, and you have to do the work on a moment-to-moment basis to make it work for you.
Love that. Moment-to-moment basis to make it work for you. You have to do the work. So that is it. Have to do the work, meaning you've got to make some changes yourself, because like Josh mentioned, change is everywhere, change is inevitable. But here's the thing, we can jump in on this party of change and you can start making decisions on a daily basis. But the question is, are those decisions in alignment with what you want to be remembered for, what you want to do? A lot of us are making decisions and we're on autopilot. We're not realizing what we're doing and we're getting the same results and we're wondering, what is going on in my life, right? And so I believe it was Albert Einstein, great scientist, who said that insanity is doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results. Come on now, different results. You're going to need to change your decisions and be patient with yourself. But like Josh mentioned, the simple tweaks, just doing simple things every day and being mindful of that, then you can begin to create this part of your life that you can be remembered for.
And
remember, we're not here on this planet.
And you see the results.
We're not here on this planet. You see the results. Right? Yeah. I love it. We see the results because we're here on this planet to do some things, not just to live and survive. Hey, we are here to create some powerful things for ourselves and for other people. And you've got to be able, like Josh mentioned, step into that power, have the courage to do it, make the decisions to change your life, come out of the hidden bushes of fear and step out and say, this is where I am. And so this is some amazing information, Josh. But did you ever have a moment when you thought that what you're doing, creating this particular show, creating your business, changing your life, that it may not work out and you should return back to what you were doing before?
Well, of course, that doubt creeps in, right? So our job
Uh-huh.
is to day to day, moment by moment, as often as possible, is to do the work, i.e., focus on your goal, focus on your path, focus on where you're going, what you're doing, why you're doing it, how would you like to be remembered? And that
Mm.
helps, make that a non-issue. For me, to give you my own example, we're talking about life and death here. And I believe me, I used to be the book definition of anxiety, of anxious, of just dark and depressed and lost and needy and desperate. And today I realize that this world that we're living in will come to an end, whether we want to, admit that or not. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's true.
yeah, and for me, what really works, especially in the context of my children, is this. I realize that I want to be remembered as the greatest daddy. And of course I use that term specifically because that's the term that my children call me. And for me, in order to be that, it's not just, hanging up my hat and being a stay-at-home dad, right? In order to be the greatest daddy, I got to be the greatest person. And that is
Ah.
living my fullest out into the world. And the knowledge that our lives can come to an immediate end at any time without warning actually gives me comfort, because I know that should any moment I experience with my children, should that be the last moment I have with them, I am going to assure that everything that has led up to it, including that very moment, means that
Mm.
everything I've done has been ideal and significant for them.
This is powerful, Josh. And this is why you are a courageous creator on this show, because you're creating so much impact with people, because you just struck me here. It was the light bulb moment for me. You mentioned that your title or your kids, you're the greatest daddy in the world, but you can't be the greatest daddy until you can be your greatest person. So for our audience today, stop waiting on approval for everyone. Stop it, because you never know when that clock's going to stop.
Mhm.
And when it does stop for you, did you focus more on getting approval from other people? Or did you focus on improving yourself to take those steps in your life to
Yeah.
become the better version of you? Because it is about life. Clock is ticking. And I'm glad you touched base on this, Josh, because not too many people talk about this. We all talk about goals and dreams and success, but people don't talk about the time clock. You do not have all the time in the world. You do not have next year to figure this out. There may not be a next year. And I'm not saying we got to walk around scared of dying, but hey, we better respect the fact that the clock is limited.
Yes.
Got to respect that. And with that, Josh, you work with a lot of entrepreneurs and you help them build the grander portion of themselves in their lives. And I love that. But do you find there's a consistent, or has there been any consistent challenges with being a coach to a lot of these amazing and powerful entrepreneurs? Do you find like a common theme that comes up for some of them as a block that keeps them from removing the mask?
Of course. And it all comes down to the same thing we all experience. We care how we look and how we're
Oh, yeah.
going to look. So
Mm-hmm.
we know whether you are very aware or not so aware of what you want to do, should do, and can do. Again, I was very aware, which created all that conflict and tension. You know what you want to be doing and what you can be doing and what you should be doing, but you don't, for so many reasons, because we care what others will think, what others will say, how they're going to make us feel. That's it. That's the hurdle. And I'm no different. I was there. I, for years, didn't make a move. Why? Because I thought the people I was trying to gain approval from, which, by the way, looking back, I didn't even like these people. So there's so much irony, right? And, tears of a clown humor in all of that, because who was I trying to gain respect from? The people I don't even respect or never liked to begin with. But, when you're desperate, you just look for any sense of validation and approval as possible.
Me
So
too.
for me, I thought that if I dare rip off this label that I knew I shouldn't be wearing anyway, keeping myself in this, small, quiet role, I thought people would retaliate against me and say, oh, well, who do you think you are for trying to do that and coming up with all those great ideas and look at all the good who do you think you are? And with that scenario in that role, I didn't feel powerful or strong enough to protect myself. So I didn't. And that's what I
Mm.
see so many people doing, because when I talk to entrepreneurs and clients and people in any industry, they have such great ideas, such beautiful intentions that they're just sitting on because they fear what others are going to say and how others are going to act.
And that's why you say F that noise. And this is why it's so important, for us to say that. I mean, and you can fill out the rest of the word if you want, however you choose, but
Doesn't matter.
F the noise, because it's the noise in your head. And this is what Josh helps people with, because it's a powerful way of moving through things. A lot of the resistance you have is not from people. It's from you worrying about what they think of you, worrying about what's going to happen if you make a decision or make a move. I had the same problem too as well. I had people in my life, and then when I made the moves, made the decisions, did a lot of those people stay around? No, they didn't, but the
Bingo.
important
Yes.
people
Go ahead.
did.
Yes.
Right?
Go.
Yeah. They didn't stay around. They left. They dispersed. They just disappeared. They did Houdini trick. However, the people that were important, they did stick around because they were in alignment with what I truly was and what I truly wanted. So if you're in a position right now where you're scared to let go of people, you got to ask yourself, why are you with them in the first place? You got to ask yourself, do they bring me up, or are they in alignment with what I truly want to experience for myself? And if they're not, then hey, you've got to do some digging, like Josh mentioned. You got to get in there and figure out what's going on here. What decisions do I need to make? And so when we're trying to get approval from people, you will not win that game. You're going to lose every single time, because everyone has their own perception of what they think things should be or how they should be. And if you're trying to be in other people's head, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to get lost. So if you're an entrepreneur right now, or you're trying to be an entrepreneur, or you're wanting to build a business, take your life to the next level, or even just do some different things, take to heart what Josh has said today. He's dropped a lot of knowledge for us about making the right moves, doing the daily actions that are necessary, to stop waiting on approval. And the first thing is just removing your mask. Who are you wearing it for? Why are you scared? Yeah, if you make a mistake, mistakes are good. We learn from them. That's called life. That's called being here on this planet. You're on the playing field. And if people are booing you, it's because they bought tickets just to watch you play. And that's all right. Do your thing. Do your thing and make some constructive mistakes. This is a wonderful conversation. Josh has got me fired up. I haven't been this fired up in a long time here. And
Awesome.
This is amazing. So, Josh, how can our guest get in contact with you? Because I want them to be truly connected to you and to go to your show to listen to all these powerful people that you have and that you're interviewing, and that this knowledge, I don't want it to go miss. How can they get in contact with you?
My main hub is my website, joshcary.com. From there, you can read more about me, watch videos, consume all the episodes of the Hidden Entrepreneur Show you want, and also click through to your social platform of choice, all from the joshcary.com hub.
Love it. So we have come to the part of the show that everyone waits for, the drum roll. And it is the courageous creator question. This is a deep question that I ask. It's simple, but it gets straight to the heart of the matter. Josh has presented to us today the reason why he is a powerful host and why he's done some amazing things in his life, made some major transitions, and has impacted a lot of people, particularly entrepreneurs. Josh, what does success mean to you?
Success is a personal feeling where living your life, for me, living my life moment to moment, the more consistent moments in a given day stretched across a week and a month and a year and then a lifetime, the more moments that I can personally experience with a sense of joy, passion, love, creativity, the more I am a success. It's that simple. When the scales are balanced in my favor to say, you know what? This hour was a success because I gave my best. I felt my best. I did my best. Yeah, and you just feel that feeling. And then that turns into a good afternoon and a good night and a good day and a good week, month, year, and life, stringing together more of those moments for me personally. How do you do that? If something goes wrong, because nobody's perfect, right? You have things where you experience and they take you by surprise, throw you off your game. It happens, fine. What used to happen for me in the past, I would spend hours or days beating myself up, more guilt, more shame, more all of that wouldn't just, I would then become more of the victim and say, you see, I'm not capable. I knew it. But so now the win today is when you are thrown off your game to say, as quickly as possible, that wasn't my best self. That wasn't my best moment. That wasn't my best reaction. Let me see if I need to figure out why it happened, or just move on and say, all right, I got it. Not going to really let that happen again. I see what happened there. Don't want to do that again. Let's move on to the next moment. That's when you are a success. That's when I am a success. Many strung together moments that create your life.
Woo! What an amazing way of saying success. And I get this moving from moment to moment of consistency, of doing those things that are necessary. And if it doesn't happen accordingly, you keep moving from moment to moment to moment. And just being consistent with your actions, your thoughts, your behaviors, your actions, and is it in alignment with what you're wanting to accomplish? And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, like Josh mentioned, mistakes are going to happen along the way. Failure is going to happen along the way. Part of life. But do not muddle in it. Keep moving from moment to moment, giving your very best at that moment in time. And then the next moment will be even better. Give your best then, and just keep going off of one thing to the next. And this is why Josh Cary is very successful in what he does. He's creating major impact. And this is why he has been on the show today. And I am sure he's going to be back again. Josh, I want to thank you for being on our show today, my friend.
My man, I appreciate this. Champion up. I'm so excited. Thank you, Adrian.
You're very welcome, Josh. And don't forget to go to Josh's platforms to follow him and to listen to all the amazing things. Go and download or subscribe to his podcast right now. Don't hesitate. Do it. It is amazing. Until then, I encourage you all to stop hiding, to take off the mask, and to be that courageous creator in your life. This is the Purposeful Life Show on the Champion Up Podcast with myself, Adrian Starks, and thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed our podcast today, don't forget to give us that 5-star rating and subscribe to the show so you don't miss out on the powerful life-changing content on future episodes. Also, make sure to go to championup.net for even more life-changing content. Until then, I encourage you to be the courageous creator in your life.